Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Seth from Worth Synchronicity, and it's time for our Tuesday tea or Q&A. If there is any questions you guys have that you want to talk about, ask, understand more, get into things at the shop, what's going on there, or something you're curious about, if what the shop can do for you, then let me know. Hi, folks who have joined. If you have a moment, let me know who you are. Say hi in the comments. Sometimes your name, like your handle, doesn't line up with your name, so it's helpful for me if you let me know who you are. I'm also going to start by just grabbing a card for this session, seeing what the energy is here. This is one of the things that we do with the shop is readings. Hey, Christine. So you can always jump in and schedule time for readings at the shop by jumping on the website at worthsynchronicity.com. And we also teach tarot. So I'm in the middle of tarot summer school right now for people who are looking to understand tarot, understand what those cards mean, get your head out of the book. It is, hey Maritza, how are you? It is a down and dirty way to have some technique on your side, so you're not stuck memorizing what these cards mean and you actually find what they mean for you. So summer school is actually pretty, you miss tarot class so much. You can always catch up if you want to do like remakes or redos, but I'll look forward to you coming back. If you want, we can always figure out how to bring you in via Zoom and you can participate that way. We just did the majors. This coming Friday, we're going to be talking about the minors, and the following we'll jump into the court. So the card that I pulled for tonight, this is the Light Seers Tarot, by the way. This is the Four of Swords. A lot of times the Four of Swords gets aligned with, and part of why this image looks this way, gets aligned with taking a pause or taking a rest or taking a time out. And you see this this young person laying in a nest with some string. And if you know this deck, there's a lot of string carried in the beaks of crows. And there's also a heart in there. I can't figure out how my finger has to work backwards. There's also a heart in there. Oh, good. Then you covered that class already. So we've got this young person who's got a bunch of, it's like tattoos on them, but also a lot of design in their clothes. There's a red string. There's four prominent one. There's 1, 2, 3, and one down here. How do I do this backwards? Swords, because it's the Four of Swords, but they're actually these little, twigs that are part of the nest. Anyway, it gets aligned with, oh, there's also a bind rune on her arm. Right there is a rune. And that's I forget which rune that is now. Anyway, so it gets associated with rest. But if you know a little bit more about the history of the Four of Swords, one, swords are air for most people. Sometimes they're fire. In this deck, they're aligned with air. So we've got already the element of being in our head, thinking about how things work, trying to understand patterns and recognition. And the four gives us some stability. So it's looking for the settlement of the constant whir of our brain. So in the concept of rest, it's not always physical rest. A lot of time, this is making sure that your mind has the ability to pause and settle with everything that's been going on so that you can be prepared for what's to come. This card is also, if you look at the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, is aligned. It looks like a sarcophagus or a coffin, and then there's this window up in the top that looks like glass in a church window, stained glass. And there's a depiction of something on there. I don't remember now. And we notice that the sarcophagus has a sword on it, and there's 3 swords hanging on the wall. Well, a lot of people take that to mean that we need to rest. Well, actually, it's a sarcophagus. Everything has rested. The body has stopped. The mind has stopped. And you realize you're actually in a crypt. You're not, it's not a bed. You're in a crypt when you're in that card. And what happens in crypts? Often people are praying or venerating the dead. In this particular imagery, it's actually uh, letting us know that prior to battle, a lot of knights would go into crypts before a knight they respected or a king they were serving or had served, and they would pray in that space before they'd go out to battle. So the Four of Swords isn't always about sleeping. Sometimes it's about kind of like in that Hamilton verse, you're lying in wait. You're getting ready for it. You're preparing for something. But in order to prepare in a healthy way, everything needs to pause and stop and just be. This is one of the things we talked about in the meditation on Sunday was how are you showing up and how are you taking a moment to recognize who you are and how you show up in the world. And I think it's a good reminder to just pause. And there it is. There's the pause. So if you have questions for me, don't forget to throw them in the chat. There goes Kasha. And if you didn't already know, what's that? Now I have the Hamilton soundtrack in my through my head. I'll do that. I'll put soundtracks in your head. Driving back home from work, I've seen 2 crows. Been told that one of my guardian angels can manifest as crows, and overall today work was heavy energetically. Got it. So yeah, what's interesting about 2 crows is there are 2 ravens that are depicted on the either the Hanged Man or sometimes the King of Swords. And a person who's joined, and those are Odin's ravens, or crows. And I forget what their names are, but they refer to thought and memory. And often when you see 2 crows following you or flying with you, it gives you a moment to pause and reflect on, where's your head and where has it been? What does it remind you of? And how does that propel you forward into seeing the world or your experience in a new way? So those crows may have been helping you not only potentially be a guardian angel or have manifested as a crow for your guardian angel, but it could also be a reminder that it's time to look at everything that happened today and see what it might be showing you about the patterns in your life and how you can find yourself moving forward in a new way or observe things in a new way. That's really cool, though. There's a couple crows that used to hang out outside the shop. They'd land on the sign in the parking lot, and then they'd hang out in the parking lot for a little while. I haven't seen them for a while, so I don't know if they've just gone on their merry way or maybe they're not around anymore. I don't know. So while you're taking a moment to either comment or throw in questions that I can help you with, if you weren't already aware, since July 5th, we've been doing our semi-annual clearance sale, and I've been sending out emails and some text messages letting you guys know that I keep putting stuff in there. And I took a bunch more markdowns today. I've got more to do. So not only is the sale different every day, because you never know what I'm going to throw on the table, but some of the stuff that's on there has been marked down again. So it's time. Because there was somebody looking for tourmaline bracelets today. They wanted some protection and they were looking for tourmaline bracelets. And I had thrown a lot of tourmaline bracelets in the sale. There should be one left. I can't find it. But if it's there, if it didn't accidentally walk out the door somehow, and I hope it didn't, if it's there, then there's one tourmaline bracelet left, sitting on the under $10 table, where you can still get a really cool mixed tourmaline bracelet for under $10. Uh, the what was the other thing I was going to say? It reminded me of something else. It was meant to be if it is there. Yeah. Yeah. If it's there. Even like a kunzite bracelet, for example. If it was meant to be, it'll still be there. I like to also see when I'm pulling cards like this, for a moment like this. I also just like to see what's on the bottom. So we had that Four of Swords, right? Let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. It's the Ace of Cups. It's a pretty depiction of the Ace of Cups. So the thing we may not be attention to, if the Four of Swords is asking us, to reflect and to pause a little and reflect and prepare for what's to come, the Ace of Cups lets us know we're not paying attention to our own healing, guidance, and support that's needed during all of that. So it may be wise to also find your way to therapy or through a process that a therapist has taught you in order to work through things that may be coming up the next week or so. Because there's, one of the things that I love about synchronicity is it's its own little world unto itself. When everything outside feels busy and insane and confusing and what happened again? When you're in the news, you're like, what happened? There's been forest fires sending smoke to Canada, and we're going to put tariffs on a country because there's forest fires. What? When the crazy seeps in, it doesn't seem to seep into the walls of synchronicity. We may certainly talk about it. We may still certainly experience the frustration of it. But what happens when you're in there is actually truly amazing. Those things kind of fall by the wayside, and you have a moment to really be with yourself when you're there and what you need most or what you might need for someone else. Uh, it it kind of becomes a respite in its way, so that there can be moments of awareness and clarity and finding your way into not only this safe space but in a more steady and not just steady but like a place of self-trust. I think it's really easy in synchronicity to hear yourself again, and then when you go outside it's really easy to get lost. So that's one of the, and I'll keep talking about this because I think it's so cool and it's been such amazing work. Synchronicity Circle was built for that kind of work. And when you sit down and have readings or you sit down and go through your human design and you're in this incubated space where everything makes sense, and then you get outside and the rest of the world starts interjecting and putting their little pieces into what once seemed like a clear and perfect system, uh, it it can almost feel overwhelming and daunting. And why would I even try? But in the effort that comes in by trying, just one little step of difference, then you find that you can carry that piece with you. And I don't mean like a chunk of something. I mean like that inner peace that you felt for a minute while you were in the shop. You can carry it with you. You can know that there is support for you and know that the work you're doing is changing not only you, but the people around you. And it, in the end, is changing things for the better because ultimately you're finding a greater and truer version of you. And if that is true, it's going to ask everyone around you to either show up the same way or find their way into the background. That doesn't mean that they have to not be a part of your life. It doesn't mean that they're uh, not someone who continues to care or love you. It just means that there's different paths, and it's okay that yours has helped you grow, and it's okay that others may not grow with you. And the next stage of that is to decide how do you move forward, and are those people constantly, hey, person who's joined, constantly a part of your life, or are they someone that might find their way, down their own path? And I've been thinking about this a lot because there are not only families that are going through this, but friends that are going through this. And it seems easier to let go of friends than it does of family, uh, for most. Hi, Jen. Welcome. We got started a little bit ago, about 16 minutes ago. Pulled a card. It was the Four of Swords, and the Ace of Cups underneath that had a little guidance, so you can go back and watch that on the replay. And now I'm just here and available for questions, but I'm sharing a little bit more about the outcome of Synchronicity Circle. So if you got questions, throw them here in the chat, and I'll respond to them. And questions about anything metaphysical, about the shop, about the sale, anything that you're working on and you're wondering how anything at Synchronicity can help you, I'm happy to answer it. So even with family, we still find that experience happens. And it's not like for those families that don't exist in a space of narcissism or abuse, where having a complete step away can be more helpful. But for those who have a loving and caring relationship, it can be hard when you're growing and they're not. Or if you're growing in different ways and you're not quite sure how they're going to show up in your life again. I think one of the easiest ways to think about this is when children come into their own about who they are and how they see the world, and it may not be the same as the parent. And that doesn't mean often that relationship is harmed or that love is gone. It just means we're two different humans that approach the world in different ways. And there can still be some care and love here, but we probably wouldn't be friends. We probably wouldn't be in the same place. And that's okay. I have that circumstance in my own. Like, I have a great deal of care and love and respect for some of my family, but they also, one, may not understand this work. Two, they are some of them are extremely Catholic or Protestant, and this would be its own challenge for them. And then some are also extremely unchallenged and limited in their views on how people can exist in the world. So anyway, I think Synchronicity Circle gives you a runway. I think it gives you a safe place. I think it gives you the ability to work with other people who are trying to better themselves and understand themselves better too. And it connects the dots of readings, whether they're human design readings or tarot readings or astrology readings. It connects the dots for you on what you're supposed to be doing and how you can move forward in a way that is healthy and encouraging of the growth that you're trying to achieve. So Jen, tell me what brought you in. I'd love to know more. I'm just gonna grab the Synchronicity Circle page here real quick. So if anybody's curious about finding out more about it, that's where you can find out more about Synchronicity Circle. We also had a new reader at the shop. Her name is Deanne Joy. She was in on Saturday, and she's working out when her regular schedule maybe it may be Tuesdays and Thursdays, or one of those days, or occasional pop-ups on different days of the week. Um, and I thank you, Christine. Um, and it and she will be around more often. She's a great reader, great medium. She's been reading in the south suburbs in Chicago for over 40 years. She used to read at a Peaceful Path before I did. So over 10 years ago or so, she was a reader at a Peaceful Path. And things shifted in everybody's lives, and she found her way somewhere else, and now she's found her way back. So she's back at the shop, and hopefully she'll be around on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and uh, and some other days that might work out for her. She's such a gentle reader, and a kind guide. We have so many different readers at the shop. You have so many different experiences. Somebody must be outside our door. So many different experiences that can align with how you like to receive information, and it blows my mind that that kind of surrounding support exists. It's just kind of cool. Does this tell me? No, it doesn't. You know how sometimes you can click on things and it tells you like who the people are? Like I can't actually click on the people and find out who's here. So I'm grateful when you say hi, person who just joined, because then I can see who you are. I can certainly welcome you in the room. And if your handle doesn't match your name, then please let me know your name so I can address you. And I'm trying to learn names with handles, but that takes a minute. It takes some repetition. So, for those of you that are still here, any questions I can answer for you about the shop or something you're working on and how the shop might help, or the services or the products that are in there, where I can tell you a little bit more about how it works and how it might support you in the journey that you're on. One of the things that I've learned about myself, hi person who joined, is I forget what I know until someone asks me. When you give me the question or give me the insight that you're trying to figure out, then I'm like, oh yeah. I've got like 5 things that I could support you with, or share or pass along that may be the tool or guidance or insight that you needed. But if you don't ask, then I can't help. So feel free to throw something in the chat and let me know what you're thinking about or what you're working on. So Synchronicity Circle is one of those tools. Hi, person who joined. Feel free to drop your name in the chat. For those of you that are joining, if we don't know each other, I'm Seth. I own Synchronicity here in Worth, and it is a metaphysical shop where we help you find the path that is right for you, the best alignment, where you can sit in our space with some safety, some steadiness, and some trust, especially building self-trust. Uh, I I love to help the overwhelmed and highly functional people reconnect with themselves. It is one of the things that I needed most in my life, and it's one that I continue to pass along for others through the tools and products that Synchronicity. Yes, Christine, highly functional. I know you didn't say anything. I'm just you're. I can. It's like I can hear your brain. I'm just pausing for a moment in case everybody's typing. One of the one of the things I did hear your brain. It's interesting to me how many people come into the shop who have either self-diagnosed or been recently diagnosed with ADHD. And for a long time, I thought in human design I might be able to find some semblance of that or some indicator of that. And hey, Sean, how are you? Uh, if you have questions for me, uh, if you've been to the shop before, welcome to the live. If you have questions for me, let me know. I'm just doing a Q&A and talking a little bit about the shop. So I couldn't find it, and then it finally dawned on me. I was like, of course I'm not going to find that. This is a diagnosis. This is something that is behaviorally diagnosed by someone who went to school to discover what these behaviors are. And human design isn't going to show me that, but it'll show me the person who is living with the diagnosis, and then these two things meet. You know, you just got an ADHD medication, Maritza. Congratulations. I hope that the journey to finding the right dose for you is not fraught with frustration, and that it can bring you the support that you need. Yeah, so it's been interesting to have that exploration happen, and to know that there's a lot of folks coming into Synchronicity that have ADHD. So the experience of living with this diagnosis and finding how the other tools of metaphysical properties work together is going to be an interesting exploration, I think. Tied to the shop, would you happen to have black obsidian and tiger's eye available? I do. Um, I've got red tiger's eye, blue tiger's eye, combo tiger's eye, yellow tiger's eye. I think I'm out of gold, but I've got yellow. No, I've got small gold and like a larger yellow. I've also got them as bracelets. Uh, Obsidian I have just as a stone. I think I might no, actually I have some obsidian necklaces too. And did I put anything in the sale today? I don't think there's any obsidian or tiger's eye in the sale, but there's a lot of other crystals and bracelets and specimen pieces in the sale that actually would work really well with tiger's eye and obsidian. There's some shungite and jet in the sale that is bracelets. So other protective things like obsidian. We also have hematite. So if you see what I mean, where I just start riffing off when you finally give me a question. We also have hematite. So if you're using obsidian as a reflector or a return to sender, obsidian's also a great pair with that. All of you highly functioning folks. Uh, right? Isn't it? What's interesting to me is for everyone that is high functioning, uh, even with other diagnoses, uh, the experience of being high functioning can feel really lonely, and it can feel like you're in this lane that is with blinders on that is just you. Great. I look forward to seeing you. Remind me who you are when you come in. Uh, the and that experience, when someone recognizes it, it feels like you're finally seen for the first time, and that opens up a world of possibility. Uh, I am I am someone who, while I haven't been diagnosed with ADHD or anything similar, what I do have is, and that wasn't to leave out those who are not functioning well either, of course. What I do have is like an ability to get so focused that I will lose everything else around me. And And then I do either I achieve further than others might have in the same amount of time, or in a long-term trajectory, that certainly is the case. And it puts me in like a high functioning, high achieving space, which kind of shuts out other people. So I get it. I get that confusion of like, wait, I just did all this stuff and everybody else is gone already? Or um, I have 5 different things I'm doing. Where do I focus? And the 5 things I'm doing are all truly probably helping one thing happen. But maybe the other 5 are things that also need to get done. And so I'm really doing 10 things and they're all over the place. But shouldn't I just focus? Well, kind of, but not all the time. And your medication may help you with some of that. But some of us have superpowers that are meant to help us do that kind of work all over the place, because it's how we learn and how we discover things. So your design, along with your diagnoses, can also be extremely helpful together, and they can bring up things that you would want to talk with your like human design reader and your therapist, either very similar or discoveries from each with each of them. Right, and it is also, as much as it's a symptom of ADHD, it's also a superpower of individuals who are manifesting generators. So, diagnosis or no, there's also a skill set there that is helpful in achieving your goals and making your way through life and being a functioning member of society. So, that's why I think it's interesting that they go hand in hand, because they're not always um, the subjective good or bad that we might assign to them based on how society feels about something or how we personally feel about something, and being diagnosed, and for some the shame that may come along with that, or the revelation and the joy that finally I know why I'm behaving the way I'm behaving. Human design does the same thing. It helps you discover why there are some behaviors that are uniquely you, and some that you've learned from other people, so that you can decide, let me peel apart this onion and discover what is me, what is someone else, what part of those do I keep, and knowing that I have this diagnosis, uh, how do these pieces fit together, and what is it that I can move forward on with this new knowledge? Yes, your Manny Gens. Manny Gen. Yeah, many gens appear to have ADHD, but we don't always have ADHD. We're we're, we're just highly adept at either multitasking or starting something, never finishing it, and coming back to it after a period of time when we're like, oh, yeah, there's that thing, squirrel. And we come back to it. Or we never come back to it because it's no longer needed or necessary and we've learned everything we need to learn. Yeah, if you can find the right job that your superpowers align with, it is incredibly helpful. Uh, f for example, manifestors are great in circumstances that have command and control, or, allow like, entrepreneurship, or, being on a line where they're the, like, foreman, or starting something that creates widgets and they have other people make the widgets. Yeah, manifestors are actually kind of cool. And projectors are even more amazing. Obama's a projector. If that helps you think about projectors, Obama's projectors tend to show us where we need to be and help us get there. Different than the manifestors who say, go do the thing, and this is how you're going to do it. It's a different type of leadership. See where we can be versus do the thing. You know? Maritza, I love how you put it in the lens of a superpower. With my journey of therapy, it's been feeling overwhelming of like, is there something wrong with me type of feeling. Yeah, I think if when we start to look at the gifts we're given as superpowers, It's so much easier to accept that this is a version of me that other people get to experience, and it's part of what I bring to the table. Instead of, oh, I hope no one sees this thing, like a pimple on my face, uh, or this behavior that I have that I've been diagnosed with. I hope no one sees the thing, because what will they think? How will I be observed? What will people assume about me? Uh, no, I'm really good at multitasking, and not everybody is. I'm also really good at forgetting that I did something because I did 5 other things, and then I go and someone will go, "Hey, do you remember doing the thing?" "Oh, yeah, I totally forgot about it, but thanks for reminding me." But I've also set up systems for myself where there are reminder systems because I know I'm gonna get started something else and it'll bring me back. So, like, blocking out time on my calendar or having reminders pop up on my phone, it's extremely useful for me to work with an AI like Siri to say, "Hey, remind me about XYZ at this time," and then I don't have to worry about it, and I know I'll get back to it. But yeah, I like superpowers, because I think it frames our gifts in a way that, help us embrace them instead of, fear them, hide them, and feel shameful about them. All righty, everybody. I hope this was helpful. I look forward to seeing you next time. We do this every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. And if you haven't been to the shop yet, or if there's something you're looking for, like the Tiger's Eye stuff, I'll look forward to seeing you. Definitely say hi when you come in and remind me that we chatted about it on YouTube. I'd love to know. And if you haven't joined Synchronicity Circle, I highly recommend it. You can always chat with me more about that, and the links in the chat, if you want to dig more into it, including going over to wordsynchronicity.com and checking out the semi-annual clearance sale, because you can see most of it online, but there's some stuff that is just in the store and it's not online. So you got to come in and check out the treasure hunt that is the semi-annual clearance sale, as well. All right. I hope you all have a great night. Thanks for being here. I'm so glad, Maritza, and I'll see you all soon. See you later. Bye, Christine. Bye, Sean. I don't know who all this is here because it doesn't tell me, but I'll see you later.